Now let's go to gamine family. Normally they are smaller. They also have very certain bone structure, pretty straight body type, sharp bones, narrower shoulders. The best haircut for them would be short, tousled, cropped, layered, and styled upwards also looks amazing on them. Cropped layered bangs also look great on them because it softens severely geometric cut. We can call them boyish chic. They don't look as good in heavy, severe to blunt hairstyles with heavy bangs and very often with long hair. Audrey tattoo is gamine, so we can see how cute she looks with that short hair, boyish haircut when her face is opened, when it's tousled, when it's cropped, when it's standing slightly up, how youthful she looks, how great she looks with that short fringe. Yeah, and this bob I think is also nice on her. Is slightly more of a soft gamine. Maybe that kind of fringe is a little bit heavy on the eyes. I would make it slightly shorter. Michelle Williams, so we can see when she's wearing something longer, it drags her down a little bit, is making her look slightly tired and slightly heavier. And as soon as she chops it off, that gives that lift to her face. Her eyes pop. Even with that blonde, sleek hairstyle, I do think that looks nice on her, like little girl. She doesn't need too much air in her hair. It looks nice just by itself when it's so sleek, a little bit like a helmet. Earlier she had that very strange brown hair color. I don't think that fashions her enough, and also you can see that slightly uneven layered haircut without even length. I also don't think that it gives that statement. When she was wearing something flamboyant natural hair with that curtain bangs, looked nice, but she looked like any other girl, and you also didn't see her talking like this, walking like this with the rest of her body, because she is quite petite. Look at that tousled boyish haircut. How cute that is on her. How youthful that looks on her. And that's her many years ago. That attempt to be the most beautiful girl on school ball. You know, stiff curls. Was doing those type of curls all the time before. Miroslava Duma is also a gamine. I think she looks very good with short hair, with bob, with or without bangs. Even if her bangs are short or a bit longer, I think that looks great because her hair is very contrasted color. Her eyes really get that pop. She also looks very beautiful with long hair, but I just think that altogether, when we look all together, I think bob looks more chic. Now let's go for flamboyant gamines. It's gamine with dramatic undercurrent. They can be slightly more powerful looking, slightly more tomboyish, maybe slightly straight in figure, slightly more angular bone structure. So their hair looks best when it's geometrically sculpted or boyishly tousled. Geometric outline with layered fringe to tousle. That's what David Kibbe says in his book. They don't look as good with blunt-edged, symmetrical hairstyles and something too soft and hiding the face. So let's look on some examples of flamboyant gamines. The best example, of course, is Audrey Hepburn and her famous fringe. That fringe that so many try to repeat. That short one. Sometimes it was wispy, sometimes it was pretty straight and very angular. That really supported the bone structure that she had. You could hardly see her with long hair. It's so rare when you find pictures of her having that long hair or hair without that fringe. I think when she got older she started growing her hair. In his book, David suggested if a flamboyant gamine has long hair, that would be amazing if it looked like Tina Turner's wig. Super crazy and tousled, like an explosion. Otherwise, if it's very sleek and long hair, it's very hard to make it vivid enough. It drags everything down. So in Penelope Cruz's case, as far as she has a lot of hair, she has a lot of volume in her hair, or maybe she made it specifically for those photo shoots. Look how amazing she looks, first of all, with that very curly mane, with that beautiful smoky eye. They look great with slightly layered ends to tousle, not very, very blunt. Then she also tried to make that short fringe, like Audrey Hepburn actually. And she does look very cute, I think, with that. Especially, I think, when it's stylized like this. Sleek, glamorous, long hair also looks great on her, but I think not as good. She does look small, actually smallish. It normally happens when these ladies wear vertical line and that type of dresses, but we're not talking about dresses. You can actually check my video about dresses for the body types. Kate Bosworth. On this picture you can see her angularity. Now, interesting, when she was wearing dark wig, I first thought it was Jessie J. Does it also remind you of Jessie J? Interesting, but you slightly start seeing her bone structure that was softened before under that straight light hair. I think she looks very cute with that longer fringe and that bun on top. Emma Roberts. Now, she's the girl with very straight and fine hair. And what David suggests to do for flamboyant gamines with fine hair, with straight hair, is asymmetrically sculpted. On one hand, it's Tina Turner's wig, or it's asymmetrically sculpted. which in my thoughts would be asymmetrical bob with elongated fronts. First, let's look on something opposite on her. So this is very blunt haircut, very symmetrical, and very blunt fringe. It looks slightly separate from her because that is the bone structure that they have. Or if we see her with longer hair, it's dragging down a little bit. Also here, hair for naturals. Very long, slightly tousled, no volume on top. And also for that type of hair, it's very hard to keep that volume. On some photo sessions, she did have that crazy volumizing hairstyle. Reminded me of that photo set of Penelope Cruz. Look at how great her bone structure looks with that. With something wild, with that dark roots, with that bleached ends, they do look good with artificial hair colors. Slightly mullet-like, right? It does look like she has some shorter on top, but it's so layered, it's so wild. The eyes start shining, so something is happening. And as far as she has very sleek hair naturally, she can't always wear her hair like that, volumized. That would kill the hair. So there's another solution, asymmetric bob. So she did that, and I think that's the best solution for her. Even when it's sleek, it does look pretty chic. When she has that curl, when she has that slightly artificial hair color, I also think that looks fresh on her. When we look on her outside, that also looks fresh on her. Last but not least, soft gamine. Soft gamine is a combination of opposites, yin and yang, with some extra yin, femininity. So they are rounded, normally they are petite, but they have some sharpness and angularity in the facial bones, in the body. They are slightly angular. Sometimes they might feel like they're slightly chubby. So from the book, their hair looks best when it's soft, tousled, layered, and they look good with feathery fringe. They don't look as good in severe, too ornate hairstyles, or too blunt, or too much coiffé. So let's look on some examples. Jenna Coleman. I found several pictures of her in Bangs, and what I can say that this actress is very aware about what she's wearing, about her style. She knows very well her bone structure and her body. So I almost couldn't find some not very flattering examples on her. The only one that I found, and I'm just being very picky, is that heavy fringe that is covering some of her face, that is very sleek and that doesn't have any touseledness in that and any volume. The rest is great. Then look at that. Very playful, youthful. Even though the fringe is long, it opens some parts of her face. It opens her forehead. She has that tousled bun on top. Very cute. In this case, yes, it's curtain bangs. Yeah, the bangs looks heavy again, but the hair itself is tousled and the bangs open some parts of her face, so that also looks very cute. Here she has no bangs. Very beautiful curly bob. I like this hairstyle on her too, even though soft gamines don't look as good in long hair because it drags them down normally. But the hairstyle she has here now is very academy-like. That slight volume on the back, that very 60s vibe of that longer fringe, that all lifts her up a little bit. It's not that ornate. I also like that type of fringe of her. Still pretty heavy, but very cute, little girl-like. Hide and pin it here. So this is too short gaminish, I think. Not enough touslness and airiness in that hair, too short. So instead of girly, she looks boyishly. Her body looks girly, her hair looks boyish. She needs a bit more hair. She has much more flash for that type of haircut. Here she's like, as if little girl is trying to look like her mama. With those stiff, big curls, with that makeup. Here again, too gaminish. So she turns to that little girl and I think lacks some sexiness. If we add something curly there, some more air, something more feminine, as rounded as she is, here it looks like a wig. Too severe, too much dragging down, like little girl is trying to be like a very sexy woman. Here I think looks great. Her face is opened, hair is not stiff. It's not sleek. It has some air in it, has some roundness in it. Darker roots give some volume effect, so yeah, I like this. I love this hairdo. Again, some volume, some darker roots, some opened face, and that very soft end of that curl gives that very feminine yet very playful look. And what I love best on her, this is that asymmetric bob with elongated front, because when the bob has elongated front, you don't have that straight blunt cut anymore. It doesn't look as severe and as heavy just because the end is triangle. They're going here to the face, to the neck, like small triangles. It's thinning to the end, so it softens a lot. And as far as her facial bones, they're very delicate. Look at that, small nose, small lips. So with all that volume and some air in the hair, it goes to nothing. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.